Well, welcome once again to the Ahern Video Podcast. Today I want to talk a little bit about taking advantage of the current market conditions. And I receive telephone calls and emails every day, and companies are saying my revenue is increasing, but my bottom line isn't increasing as fast as my revenue, and I don't know why. And so I ask a very basic question: how do you track your cost? And they say, well, we get our financial statements at the end of the month. That's not what I mean. How do you track your cost? Do you treat each truck as a profit center? Do you look at truck utilization on a daily basis? Do you look at driver utilization on a daily basis? And the point I'm trying to make is this is a very unique time for our industry. This is a very unique time for you as a trucking or logistics company to make record profits due to the fact that there aren't enough drivers. Capacity is a big issue for shippers, but if you're going to overcome the capacity issues and make record profits, you need to be able to define your costs on a daily basis. Every time I talk about tracking costs, people say, well, maybe you're trying to sell your software program. We're not. Our software program is a pricing tool. Every time you push a button, you're going to know beforehand whether you're going to make money on that dispatch or not. It's tied directly into your own P&L statements, and it's not expensive. It's used as a pricing tool. But in a lot of cases, you can have your own software that you've currently purchased. You can have it modified. But the bottom line is this: you want to be able to know, and you want to be able to coordinate with dispatch and operations. If you're going to move 100 loads a day, you want to know if each of those loads are going to be profitable, and if they're not going to be profitable, why. You need to be able to demonstrate how it impacts your bottom line, not your neighbor's bottom line. Our industry is so concerned about what Jack down the road is charging, and salespeople are so concerned about being so rate sensitive, and we need to be concerned about our cost. If your rates are higher than everybody else, that sends one of two signals. Either your costs are too high, and so what do? You drive your costs down. Or you don't know how to price your product to be competitive. Competitive is different from giving business away. You're in a very unique marketplace today. You're in a marketplace where you've got overcapacity. By overcapacity, I mean you have too much freight. You may not have enough drivers, but you got too much freight. You have to be very selective on the freight you're going to move on a daily basis. So if you can't track your cost, if you can't track each dispatch, if you're not treating your trucks as a profit center, if you're not treating each driver as a profit center, then you're missing the opportunity of a lifetime. This type of frenzy isn't going to last forever. So you need to be able to capitalize on it. You need to be able to take as much money as you can and use it as a war chest, so when the market dips, you're going to have working capital to continue to survive and grow when other companies are going to be struggling. Additionally, you need to learn to embrace technology now. You need to be able to stay ahead of the curve. There aren't any drivers, so how do you attract drivers when there's no drivers? What type of processes can you utilize, whether you're a small company or a large company, that's going to be different than everybody else? And one of the things you have to do is, in order to control your cost, you need to retain your drivers. In order to retain your drivers, you have to look at your recruiting processes. And part of recruiting has always been fill that seat and you get some type of compensation. Today it should be fill that seat and your compensation is tied into the longevity of that driver. Bonus situations today should be redefined for dispatch. How many times does a driver leave because a driver calls dispatch, they say, I have a medical emergency, I need to get home right away, so you route him in the opposite direction. And what happens? That driver quits, and that's a good driver. And so you've lost a very important asset, that driver. Today, you need to look at every facet of your business. We're a pennies business. You need to look under every rock, and you have to make sure that all of your people are working at 110% capacity, because that in itself impacts your cost, which impacts your bottom line, which impacts your profit. So if there's any words of wisdom I can impart to you today is find a mechanism to track your cost. Find a mechanism that every time you dispatch a truck, you know whether you made money or not. Design a plan. If you can't, you can call one of my analysts and we'll be happy to walk you through a process. But the point is, every single employee should be a profit center. Every single truck should be a profit center. Every single administrative individual should be a profit center. Maintenance should be a profit center. Safety should be a profit center. operations should be a profit center, and everything should be tied to end results. If you're having problems, don't bury your head in the sand, think they're going to go away, because they're not. If you continue to add recruiters and you're not getting in drivers, that means your processes are wrong. Change them. If you don't know how to change them, call somebody. We have a hotline. You can call in here and speak to an analyst for an hour, or if I'm available, you can speak to me and there's no charge. But we can give you some general ideas of how to go about staying ahead of the competition. So until next time, thank you for attending the podcast.